What's up, people? I am back for another video. So, the weapons video I have decided I'm gonna postpone until September. Because I want to wait till we get closer to Halloween to review this movie. And I was originally gonna do October, but I don't want to wait that long. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm thinking mid to late September. Like, when we get to the 20th, usually. Maybe even the late 15th. Like maybe this 18th or 19th or something like that, I will do weapons. And plus, I wanted to see it again before I did the video on it anyway, because I feel like it's one of those movies I want to get a second opinion on before I review it. Plus, I wanted to kind of review it closer to Halloween anyway. I feel like it's the perfect film to review around that time, so I'm gonna save it for next month. But today, I did decide I found another revisionist history to do. Because there is a revisionist history around this movie. And this is probably a movie I probably could have saved for October, but fuck it. We're doing a revisionist history on Jason Goes to Hell. Because there is a weird revisionist history from some people. Because a lot of people who are fans of the franchise, who try to defend this movie, one of the main points I always hear is that it tried something different. It wasn't just like a group of campers and Jason killing people. But I'm sorry. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I feel like with the Friday the 13th, you could easily change it and still make it like whatever you think of Jason X, that is how you do it. Obviously, I don't love the whole space thing, but I can at least enjoy it because it's still a Jason film, but they just changed the setting. Like, whatever, you may not like the space setting, but at least it's something different. And Jason's in the fucking movie. That alone. The way they changed the lore, that's like the number one reason I hate this movie. The lore changes. All of a sudden, Jason doesn't need to have his own body. He can possess people. He can... No, that's not... He's like... They were making it like he's a spirit. And it just does not make sense. I feel like that's where you jump the shark. You jump the shark with it. Like... What are we doing? And then also the whole aspect he needs to kill his family, which was clearly ripping off Halloween at the time, because at the time the whole plot was Michael Myers was trying to kill his family, right? So that is what it felt like it was ripping off. I'm like, why are we ripping that off? Like, and I will give the director, I think it's like Adam Marcus or something like that, who directed the movie, he at least, I think he liked the story, but I just think he would have been better off. Honestly, he should have just did an Evil Dead movie, because that's what this kind of felt like to me. This felt like a really bad Evil Dead movie that tried to masquerade as a Jason film. And I'm going to say it, Jason's, in the default Jason look for the movie just looks terrible. The way the helmet's fused into his face, which I get they were trying to do a continuation from part 8, because if you remember in the end of Jason Takes Manhattan, the toxic waste hit him, and basically I'm assuming they're going for it and forced it to fuse to his face. That part doesn't bother me, but what he's wearing, I thought it just did not look good. While there were some good kills in the movie, it wasn't because of Jason, because it was people possessed by Jason, so it doesn't even really feel like Jason, so I can't even count any of those kills. And the way it opens was dumb. The military shoots him to shit. That was dumb too. I thought that was stupid. I don't know what we were going for with that. I remember watching this the first time and just being like, what the fuck did I just watch? Because this is not a Friday the 13th movie that I, like... And then, you have this character named Creighton Duke, who's kind of a cool character, but the problem was, we don't know anything about this character. He was not introduced until this fucking movie. So it's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, and we're supposed to act, and he's like this Jason expert, but we never seen him around in any of the movies. I don't know if maybe one of the original strips, it was supposed to be Tommy Jarvis. And maybe it should have been Tommy Jarvis, because it would have made more sense, because he technically didn't die. He made it out of Jason Lives. So I don't understand why he just didn't make that character Tommy Jarvis, and it would have made more sense how he knows this shit about Jason. But this random black dude named Creighton Duke, who never fucking met. And as much as I like that actor, he's also in Supernatural. He plays Rufus in Supernatural. He's a decent actor, and he's probably one of the better characters. I'll admit, the main character, I don't remember his name, but the dude in the glasses, he was fine. But the weird, like, Jason's trying to kill his family. The fact that Jason can possess people now, which made no fucking sense. I'm like, what am I watching? The fact that basically it's not a Jason movie, it's a weird possession movie. Like, Adam Marcus would have just been better off doing like an Evil Dead, or hell, even a Nightmare on Elm Street. I can even buy this plot more with like a Freddy movie, where Freddy like possesses people. That would have made, I actually can buy that more than this happening with Jason, because Jason's not a spirit. Jason is Jason, and it was such a, I don't know what they were going for with Jason Goes to Hell. And then the fact that also the magic dagger that you stabbed Jason with, which was just such Deus Ex Machina, and this is supposed to be the ninth. And up until this point, all the Jason movies have largely been connected, at least. You know, the only one that maybe was kind of ignored was Part 5, right? Like when they did Part 6. But largely all the other movies have been, up until this one, I really would say, were largely connected in some way, shape, or form. And I felt like this was such a departure because where the fuck did this knife come from? Why does all of a sudden in the ninth film Jason has a sister and a family we don't know about? Even though up until this point the only family that's mentioned is his mom. And if you read the Jason Lives book, which talks about the events between Part 5 and 6, they do mention Jason's father, right? But if we're talking about just in main canon and just the movies, it's just his mom. So no other family has ever been acknowledged. But now in the ninth movie, he has a random fucking sister and other family. Like, what? I'm not saying he can't have other family, but that's such a terrible retcon way to do it. Because 9 films in, you're telling me we wouldn't have heard about his sister in one of the other films? Why now? 9 films in. And his sister's not even really a character. I think she was just there to die. And then the ending makes no sense. He gets stabbed with a knife and he's sent to hell. And then the only good thing about the movie is legit the ending, where we see Freddy grab his hockey mask, which is, obviously sets up Freddy versus Jason. That's it. That's the only cool part of the movie. Jason's kills are terrible in my opinion in the whole movie, because none of the kills are him. It's all these possessed people that are basically acting like him, but it's so shit. Like, it makes no sense. That's why the movie, to me, I will never watch again, because it's so bad. Because I get doing something different, but there's a way to do something different, but still keep the soul. Friday the 13th is such an easy formula. You didn't need to change it that much. You could have changed the setting a little bit. I've been fine with that. But you basically just make it Jason kills people. That's it. You didn't need to complicate it by having him possess people. He has a random sister that's not mentioned for 9 films, but she's mentioned now. This fucking magic dagger that can fucking kill him. That's never fucking mentioned in any of the other films either. Like, that's why I said, whoever made this movie, I think his name's Adam Marcus. I could be fucking wrong. Correct me in the comment section if I'm saying his name wrong. If I didn't even get his name right. I would have rather him have just made like an Evil Dead movie. Because this is what this feels like. This feels like he clearly wanted to make an Evil Dead movie. But he couldn't, so he made this. Because it doesn't make any sense. And hell, the Necronomicon's in the movie. There's a scene where you see the Necronomicon, like in the background somewhere. So, I don't know what this director was going for with trying to make this a Jason movie, because this is not a Jason movie. The formula is just so simple. I don't think you really needed to change it. You could have maybe changed the setting. We could have seen other parts of the lake. Maybe you do a movie where it's in the town, because there's a town that's kind of close to Crystal Lake, so you could have just set it in the town. That actually could have been interesting. Jason ventures out. Maybe it starts in the camp and they manage to get away, but Jason follows them to the city, or the little town. And that's where you could have had the movie, and maybe Jason's in town. That actually, you still change the setting, but you still keep the core point of the movies. You should have just did that. Doing this like Jason can body switch shit was dumb. And possess people shit. It makes no fucking sense. I'll admit there's some cool practical effects in the movie, but that's about it. That's like all my only positives are literally there's some cool practical effects. I do love the ending with Freddy grabbing the hockey mask because it sets up Freddy versus Jason, but that's kind of it. I guess there are some decent kills if I just separate it from Friday the 13th. The kills are decent, but because it's tied to Jason and it's not Jason actually doing it, it takes me out the fucking movie. Even part 5, which had a fake Jason, still had the same formula, it just wasn't Jason. It was a fake Jason. But that's better than this shit. Jason X is better than this shit, because at least, yeah, the space setting's out there and it's fucking goofy, but at least Jason's still in the movie. And they changed the setting, but they still didn't change the core story. Like this did. And it didn't just add retcon shit that just doesn't... It doesn't make any sense to exist, but we're just gonna retcon it to exist. Like, he has a sister, he has this whole family, this whole magic dagger thing that could kill him, even though that was never fucking mentioned in any of the other 8 movies up until this point. And obviously, the possession shit was never mentioned. Jason was just Jason in his body. None of this possession shit. I just, it was so stupid. I don't know what the fuck they were going for, what they were smoking, making this movie. And the revisionist history part of it is, there are people who act like it's a good movie. Well, because a lot of the justification, like I mentioned earlier, is they think, oh, at least it tried something different. But that doesn't make it good. We gotta stop giving shit a pass because, oh, it's something different, though. Sometimes you don't need to change it, man. Some things don't, you know... You don't need to always change shit. Sometimes, if you want to change something and change the setting, cool. You know, you don't want to, maybe, if you want to move it out of just, like, Crystal Lake, that's fine. I don't actually hate the idea of doing a Jason movie somewhere else. That's not just the lake. Or change it up. Like, people have been wanting this. Maybe do a Jason film. You can still set it in Crystal Lake, but set it in the wintertime where there's snow. I think that actually that would be a nice change, but you still have the same kind of formula. This was one you didn't need to change it up. Adding this weird possession shit and trying to justify it with, oh, at least it's different. No, it's not a good movie. It wasn't good back in 1993, and it's not good in 2025. I think if this wasn't Friday the 13th, you remove Jason, but maybe it's about a killer, you tweak the opening, where maybe they do kill some killer, but it's not Jason, and he possesses people, maybe this movie wouldn't be so bad. I mean, I think maybe, I think that's more what pisses me off more than anything, is that because it masquerades as a Jason movie, and as this random Jason lore. But if you take all that shit out of it, you take the name Jason out of it, you put some different killer, but it's like, it has this paranormal shit where he can possess people. This movie actually isn't bad, but because it's a Jason movie and you put it in that context, it's bad. And justifying it, well, at least it's fucking different, doesn't make it so. I don't think it's good. I can't objectively even say it's good. Even without the, I was trying to say maybe you take out the Jason stuff, it could maybe be a good movie. I disagree now that I think about it. Some of the acting is off. The Jason's look in the movie, it's bad, man. This is my least favorite Jason movie of all time. I think this is the worst one. Jason X at least is fun. I can at least laugh at it. And actually, in my opinion, Jason X is the best kill in the entire franchise with the cryogenic freeze kill. So, yeah. But other than that, I'm gonna get ready to wrap it here. I don't want this video to be too long, but I wanted to get a video out because obviously I decided to kind of take this week off a little bit. But the next video will either be tomorrow or Monday. I will be reviewing the first Naked Gun. We're going to finally get to that. And then if I'm able to do Naked Gun 1 tomorrow, and I'm thinking Monday or Tuesday we do Naked Gun 2. So we can at least get those 2 done. And then I'll save 3 for maybe later this week or next week. But, yeah. And we're definitely going to review Nobody 2. I just haven't had the opportunity to watch it yet. So when I do watch it for sure, that's going to be a review sometime this week. So, but anyway, I'm gonna call it here. Subscribe to Pin Down Podcast. We're gonna be going live tonight to watch. We're gonna do our normal stream for like an hour, and then after that, we're gonna stream ourselves watching Triple Mania, which is later tonight. So we'll be watching that later. So look out for that. The stream should be starting 5 my time and then 8 Eastern. So yeah. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Alright, y'all. Talk to y'all later.